Another era has ended and another era has begun for the Los Angeles Clippers and for the Dallas Mavericks. YouTube, what's going on? Your boy Your Mustard is back with another video, and man, we are here with another free agency decision because man, it was only like 30 minutes into free agency and we already had major decisions announced, major decisions made. And let's get into it with the first decision that I'm going to talk about today because, stay a little tuned today because I will be active. But the first decision we're going to talk about is Deandre Jordan signing with the Dallas Mavericks with a one-year deal for $24 million. So it is clear that he didn't want to be in LA because I believe the contract he had in LA where he opted out of was basically the same amount of money that he could have got signing with Dallas, or at least the amount of money that he got signing with them. So man, it makes you question, how much did he not want to play for that team? Or is it really him just wanting to play for Texas that much? Because we all know Deandre Jordan was supposed to be in Dallas a few years ago when Chris Paul encouraged him to stay so they could win championships in LA for the Clippers, but we all know how that turned out. So when it comes down to Deandre Jordan going to the Mavericks, let me answer two questions here. For the first question I will answer is, why is it that he decided to opt out when he basically could have made the same amount of money and arguably would have been in a better winning situation? So honestly, I just think that he really just wants to play for Texas because at this point, I don't think Doc Rivers is the problem with this team anymore because they've lost Austin Rivers. So it's clear that he's not running things as the GM anymore. It's clear that it's Jerry West, even though people say he's the consultant, but please, let's be honest here. It's Jerry West that's running that team. It's not Doc Rivers anymore. And you could see it as Austin Rivers is gone. I mean, I guarantee you that Jerry West basically told Doc Rivers, yo, you can have your job as the coach or you can get fired as the coach because we're not keeping this large contract in Austin Rivers. So it is clear that Jerry West is running things in LA for the Clippers. And when it comes to Deandre Jordan leaving, I don't think that had anything to really do with him wanting out of the Clippers so bad, because there were reports that they were going to try to do a sign-in trade, basically what they did with Chris Paul, how he opted in for that year and then he was traded to Houston. But the thing that I see about Deandre Jordan is it's not the same situation as Chris Paul, not necessarily the contract and the amount of years left and all that, not that, but I think the situation different because of talent. Chris Paul is not the same as Deandre Jordan. They don't play the same position. The point guard position is way more valuable. And Chris Paul is just a better player than Deandre Jordan. And when it comes to Deandre Jordan, who's going to really do a trade for a one-year rental when it's clear that Deandre Jordan wanted to play in Texas? So when it comes to him going to the Mavericks, that's really the only thing that I can think of. I don't think it's really the Clippers being bad because the Clippers, in my opinion, they have a solid roster. Lou Williams just won the Sixth Man of the Year, one of the best Sixth Man of the Year winners that we have ever seen, had one of the best years off the bench that we have ever seen in NBA history. So he's a great player. You also have Tobias Harris, who I think is one of the more underrated players in the NBA. You also have Milos, you got Patrick Beverly. I mean, you also have the point guard that they just drafted in Shai Alexander-Gilgeous, or whatever his name is. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. I'm really just going off of the top right there. But this team is a really solid team on paper. So I just don't think that Deandre leaving had anything to do with the fact that the organization is toxic or anything like that. Maybe it's because they cursed. If you want to make an argument, you could say because the Clippers are cursed, but as an organization in terms of how they're run now, the players, the team, the roster, I don't think that's really the problem. And Doc Rivers isn't as bad as a coach as a lot of people say he is. I don't think he's a great coach. I do think he is overrated in the eyes of the media and stuff like that. But I don't think he did that bad of a job last year, as last year they were in the playoff runnings for a long time. And I understand players do have to do with that and trades and stuff like that. But still, I do think coaching does have some role in that as well. But moving on to the second question, are the Mavericks playoff bound? Because that is the second and last question that I will answer here. No. The answer is just a straight up no. I understand that Dallas Mavericks fans are happy and stuff like that. You can be happy, but let's not get your hopes up too high. This is not a team that's going to make the playoffs, or you should have faith that they're going to make the playoffs. What the Mavericks fans should be hoping next year is that since you gave up that pick, or should I say top 5 protected pick, you should be hoping that you'll win enough games to fall out of the top 5, but lose enough games to fall into the top 10. So that's what the Mavs fans should be hoping here. You should not be hoping to make the playoffs. You are a rebuilding team. You should hope to have at least a top 10 pick and move forward with the young pieces that you have and develop them and then try to make a playoff run. You shouldn't be trying to make a playoff run this soon. And look, I understand if y'all were in the East, I could definitely see you guys as contenders. Not saying it would be guaranteed that you'd make it in the East, but I could see you guys as contenders. You have a solid roster. You got Dennis Smith Jr., Harrison Barnes. You also have now Deandre Jordan, Luka Doncic, who we don't know how great he's going to be, but I think he'll be a really solid player. I believe y'all still have Seth Curry, and if not, y'all can re-sign him. Yogi Ferrell, JJ Barea, and you know, the rest of the 2K generic players. But you guys have some solid pieces to work with, and I'm not saying that it's completely not possible or anything like that, but you have to face reality and just come to the grips that more than likely it's not going to happen. Okay, you guys have a solid roster, but you don't have a superstar. And when you look at the 8th seed in the West last year, you could argue that they had 2 superstars. I would say 1, because even though I do love Jimmy Butler and I appreciate everything he did for Chicago, he's not a superstar in my opinion. I think he's just a star player, but the Mavs don't even have a star player. Their best player now is Deandre Jordan, and he's not a player that can secure a playoff opportunity, much less just give you even one playoff opportunity, and he's their best player. And also when you consider the fact that you have teams in the Western Conference that did not make the playoffs in the postseason last year, teams such as the Clippers, teams such as the Nuggets, teams that were the 9th, 10th seed, and let's be honest, those teams are better than the Mavericks are right now. And honestly, I don't think that the Mavericks are going to get any better in the offseason, and the Clippers and Nuggets could still make some moves. So when it comes to the Dallas Mavericks, the future looks bright. But let the future stay bright and not try to mess things up now by trying to push your luck and try to make the playoffs, because don't just get your hopes high just so they can be crushed. This is your boy Young Mustard signing out. Y'all let me know in the comment section if you agree or disagree, if you think I left anything out or just left any valuable information out. Let me know in the comment section. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Hit the bell next to my name to be notified after each and every video. Y'all have a great day. Peace.